Welcome to Burke Tech. I'm on my way to a principals conference for 2 days. Can't wait to see everybody and to get to learn a little bit about autism and how our Lutheran schools can help students with autism. But that's not what today's about. As you may know or heard, Betsy DeVos did get selected and confirmed to be the Secretary of Education. It came down to a 50-50 split, and then Vice President Pence had to break that tie and voted in favor. I know there's a lot of people upset about this. I have a lot of family members that are in the public schools as teachers, and they're not the happiest about it either. I'm trying to calm some of their nerves because, as for one, I'm a fan of Betsy DeVos. I don't mind her being it. Does she have the greatest experience in education? From a side point, yes. From direct point, no. Some people criticize her because of her lack of being involved with public schools, as in going to a public school or having her kids go to public schools. But if you think about it, how many politicians actually send their kids to public schools? And that's not a rip on public schools, because I think we need public schools, even though I'm a Lutheran school advocate, that public schools are important for our communities, and how do we help them. And I think private schools can help public schools and make public schools better, because we see that happening in other areas that have a true voucher system. Now, that's one of the things I like about Betsy DeVos, is she is a fan of the voucher system and of true school choice. And I really hope that that is true, that we can work towards getting every student the opportunity to be able to choose where they go to school, private, public, charter, magnet, whatever it is, homeschool. We need to let the parents be parents and help them to pick what's the best school for their child. Now, as much as I like to hear that she's involved in that and wants that, how much power does she actually have? And that's what's being discussed now is, well, she really can't push school vouchers per se right now, because most of that is a state level decision, which we want our local levels to have more to say necessary than from our federal government dictating on each state, unless there are certain reasons why they need to. School choice, is that a reason why the federal government should dictate to the states? Maybe so. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But the other thing also is she's against Common Core. I know there were some questions before, is she for it or against it? When she was selected by President Trump, she said that she came out and said she was against it. Now, you know, my personal view is the standards themselves, I don't think, are the worst things in the world. There's other issues with them. But again, she doesn't have say over stopping Common Core in the states that have selected. It's a state-run program. Each state gets to decide that. So how much power does Betsy DeVos really have? We'll have to wait and see. Again, I also said this before, I didn't mind Arnie Duncan that much. I think he did some good things. I think he was lazy on other things, but I wasn't totally against him just because he was a Democrat and against some of the values I have overall. So where do we go from here? Excuse me, I gotta get away from this semi. Where do we go from here? We gotta wait and see how this all plays off. I am sure Betsy DeVos will hire some of the greatest minds that she can find to help her in this cause, to do what she needs to do completely and accurately. I think that's one of the things I liked about President Trump, is finding people that have brains and smart enough to know what they're good at and what they need help at. And we'll see how the federal implementations of education comes down, what people are afraid of, the students that need special education, and how that's going to react to each state level. I don't think there's going to be any problems there. Really, I think we're going to have a status quo for the most part, but I think it's going to start opening our eyes and ears to some alternative ways that we can educate, alternative ways that we can engage students, and that is not a bad thing. We need to realize that some places we're doing things wrong. I look at Detroit Public Schools that are in a complete mess. How can we help them out? How can we help public schools that have corruption and administrators stealing money from them and stealing money from the kids? That is what we cannot have, and hopefully we can open up our eyes and open up some discussions about this. And again, in Michigan, there has been school districts that have just closed down because of improper use of money and so forth. And these students are being pushed onto other communities that may not necessarily have the means and resources to provide them what they need. If we give students choices, I think we would be able to aid everybody, be able to reach every student, be able to give the proper education for what the students want. If students want that Christian education, then they could have it. Some parents can't pay for tuition, and not that we have to, go against our core values as a Lutheran school because we're going to accept government money like that, because I don't think that's the way to do it, and I don't see that happening because in some senses in Michigan we already get federal money, we get title money for professional development. If it's a school, Title I school, we get Title I money to help to aid in students that are struggling in math and science and reading. We have a share time partnership with the public schools where they provide teachers for non-core activities and classes, and what's good for that is the public schools then can count part of our students' day as their students to help them to get even more resources. And just because we have a voucher system, I don't see the share time going away, because even though the schools will have a little bit more money, it still would be advantageous for both the private school and the public schools to have this program and have this partnership to grow. We have we call them read meetings, where this public school provides counselors and special education services to our students, speech, different consultation stuff, and that's all paid by the government. So when people are talking about separation of church and state and that our tax money should not be going towards private education, I don't think they realize it's already going towards private education. We just passed in Michigan, a part of our budget is private schools are now getting paid back for mandates that we had to do by the state. And public schools got paid for doing these mandates. Well, now we're going to not get paid the full amount, but we're going to get paid a little bit, and which is going to help because it's mandates that the state has put upon us. And that's another thing people don't realize. Just because we're a private school doesn't mean we get to do whatever we want. To be recognized as a non-public school, at least in the state of Michigan, we have to be by mandates and laws, follow certain things, do certain things. We have to have a Constitution Day every year. We have to agree that in our science classes, that if during science experiments we wear goggles. Those are just two of the simple things, but the fire drills, the tornado drills, lockdown drills, attendance, keeping a CA-60, those are all mandates that we have and that we have to do. So I talked about a lot of things here. I'm going to wrap it up right now. Betsy DeVos, if you're ever watching this, I pray that you'll do a great job for both private schools but also public schools, and that we open up the discussion of what is best for the students, because when it comes down to it, the kids are what is the important thing of education. The kids are what is important. Have a great day.